Welcome to the session titled The Blueprint of Intelligent AI Agents Backed by PostgreSQL. I'm Maxim Lukiyanov, product manager in Microsoft, leading GenAI team in Azure Postgres service. And together with me on stage, I have my wonderful co-presenters, Abe, who is my coworker, and Sharon, who is our customer. Abe.
Hey, everybody.
Yep.
My name is Abe. I'm a PM on the Postgres team working on AI features.
Hi, this is Sharon Chen. I'm the CEO and founder of Alpha Life Sciences. I'm going to showcase real use cases of using PostgreSQL.
Sweet.
Awesome. Let's get started.
Cool.
So today we have 3 topics for you. So we'll talk about our latest and greatest innovation in the area of building AI agents and how we made it possible in our new Postgres service that we have just announced at this conference called HorizonDB. And then we'll talk about our features for managing Postgres databases using AI-powered tools that we have integrated into VS Code. So that's very powerful. And finally, Sharon will share their journey of how they build Alpha Life Sciences AI platform on top of Azure Postgres. So first, let's talk about Postgres itself. Some of you probably know, but some of you may not. But Postgres in recent years achieved phenomenal popularity among application developers. It is the most popular database for application developers, including AI applications. And there are many reasons, good reasons for that. Postgres is open source. Its SQL engine is very solid, very reliable, and dependable. And it has wonderful extensibility ecosystem, where you can customize Postgres to your needs and install any functionalities that you might need to simplify your app development. And finally, Postgres is ubiquitous, right? You can host it on premises. All major cloud providers support it. All of the frameworks, applications know about it, support it. So Postgres is a very good bet for your application, for your GenAI application platform. And it's a forward-looking bet. So with that in mind, I'm very excited to announce or introduce you to our new Postgres service called Azure HorizonDB. So we have launched this service just yesterday at this conference. HorizonDB is our next generation Postgres database service. It brings together the power of open source Postgres engine and the native cloud storage layer, bringing tremendous improvement in performance, scalability, and the availability of the service. It also comes with developer features. With developer features, so we have first-class AI features and also AI-driven database management tool that we'll cover in this session as well. But let's dive into the architecture of HorizonDB. HorizonDB is built on separate compute and storage architecture. Every compute node in the cluster shares the same storage layer. And the storage layer itself is heavily optimized for cloud environment. This allows us to achieve tremendous improvement in performance. We are up to 3 times more performant than open source Postgres on OLTP workloads and on vector workloads as well, which you'll see later in the session. This dedicated storage layer also allows us to do various optimizations. First, we made it multi-zone by default, which helps with reliability of the service. And also we optimized write latency, pushing it down to less than 1 millisecond. And we are talking about durable write across multiple availability zones. HorizonDB offers 1 read-write replica and up to 15 read-only replicas. And all of those replicas share storage. And that shared storage allows us to also optimize failover process or simplify it. We are able to reduce failover time down to less than 5 seconds from more than 30 seconds. That is typical for this type of workload in open source Postgres. So this brings kind of increased availability of the service as well. On the AI side, HorizonDB comes with differentiated developer features. So to simplify AI agent development and to improve kind of manageability of the service and simplify configuration, as well as improve performance and scale of the vector search. HorizonDB comes with AI model management, DiskNN advanced filtering, and Foundry integration, native Foundry integration. In this talk, we'll dive deep into each one of those features, so it will be the primary kind of discussion topics. But before we dive deep, let's start with a high-level architecture of the typical agentic application. So recent introduction of this agentic architecture brings with it a lot of clarity and simplicity in terms of how we can think about them. With this architecture, you can basically describe virtually any agentic application, its structure in the similar way, where you say that, hey, there is a logic of the agent itself that interacts with LLM as a reasoning engine, and it uses tools to retrieve contextual information necessary for the agent to make decisions on the specific task, and also to take action when necessary. As you can see, data retrieval tools play a key role here, right? And there are different types. First, you can use SQL queries to retrieve structured data from your database. But you can also use graph queries to retrieve data from knowledge graphs. And you can also use vector search to retrieve data from Postgres using similarity search or semantic similarity. HorizonDB supports all of those, all three modes of data retrieval. And let's start with the first structured retrieval method, where we can use SQL and graph queries to retrieve data from HorizonDB. So Horizon comes with additional features and improvements to make it more powerful and easier to use. To help with that task, we are introducing, as part of HorizonDB launch, a new feature called AI model management. This feature helps you with data retrieval and data transformation tasks by automating provisioning of the AI models. The typical task of, for example, creating embedding and connecting this embedding model to your database is reduced to a simple single-click operation. These models provided by AI model management are also fully managed, which means that you have full control of their lifecycle, and they come with built-in monitoring and billing support, billing integration. So you don't need to manually manage or configure any of those aspects. To illustrate AI model management, let's step back and look at the world before AI model management was introduced. So you needed to do dozens of steps to bring AI capabilities into your database, right? In order to build any AI application, you needed to enable extensions in the portal. You need to provision models in Foundry, connect them securely, do additional configuration steps in Postgres itself before you can actually invoke this semantic operator, right? Create embedding, right? And perform vector search with its help or some other semantic operation like that. So lots of configuration steps, lots of overhead every time you build an app. With AI model management, all of those steps reduced to 2. So first, you just create HorizonDB and enable AI model management feature. And right after that, you're ready to start using AI features in your database, which dramatically simplifies your application development journey. In fact, as you will see later in the demo, we actually integrated model management feature in the provisioning flow of the HorizonDB itself. So that makes it actually a one-click operation. You just need to create HorizonDB with model management feature enabled, and it's ready to go for your AI applications. There are three types of model types that model management supports. Pre-provisioned models that are default models we provision when you enable the feature. On-demand models, where you can choose which type of model you want to provision and provision it with one click. And we also support bring your own models. If you have pre-existing models, you can register them into the system as well. Under the hood, when you enable model management, we perform three operations. We provision three models in AI Foundry and connect them. Text embedding for embedding, GPT-5 for chat completion, and Cohere re-rank 3.5 model for semantic re-ranking. We also enable Azure AI extension, which provides you with the semantic operators to use these models. And on the service side in Azure, we also enable billing and monitoring integration. The semantic operators that we provide for these models, or that AI model management feature enables, are these five. So first, the simplest one is create embedding, right, which you can use as part of your vector search. The generate model is the most generic one. It's a ChatGPT-style completion operation, right, that allows you to generate text based on the data in your database. isTrue operator allows you to process natural language statements and convert them into Boolean true or false values, which is important when you integrate your natural text operations into the structured SQL query, right? For example, you can use isTrue to build a semantic join, where you can join two tables based on this operator condition, even without the explicit relationship between those two tables. Extract operator is probably the most powerful here. It allows you to extract entities and hidden relationships in your database and empower your agents to reason about those relationships and bring more kind of intelligence to them. And finally, rank operator is a powerful semantic ranking operator that allows you to improve accuracy of your vector search. So let's jump into a demo. Let's skip that extract. So in this demo, I will start with our Visual Studio Code extension. We have a very popular extension, Postgres extension, that we have created for VS Code. And we integrated Horizon provisioning flow into the VS Code, so your application developers can directly create their databases as they develop their applications. No need to switch context. So I'll start by clicking Create New Server, selecting Horizon DB. I'll click Get Started here, log into Azure, choose my subscription, and select the name of my database instance. By default, we default into a small compute configuration, which is ideal for new applications when you're just trying it out. But I'll scale it up to like 8 cores. Now, here's the AI features. So we have enabled, as I mentioned, AI model management and other AI features into the provisioning flow. So here, and I can also do the Postgres passwords as well if I want to. So here, if I enable this AI features checkbox, which is enabled by default, I will enable this AI model management feature, which will provision default models, and will also enable vector search. So I'll accept the terms and click Create. And that spins up the provisioning flow of the Horizon DB. So I'll switch to the pre-provisioned one for the sake of time. And in this database that I just provisioned, I also provisioned test data sets, a toys product catalog. So I'll use them for the rest of the demo. So here, let's start by listing the models that were provisioned automatically for my database. So it's just freshly provisioned database, and it immediately has access to 3 models: the GPT-5, embedding, text embedding, 3 small, and the semantic re-ranking, powerful semantic re-ranking model from Cohere. So first, let's take a look at the product reviews that I have on one of the tables. So what we have here is multiple product reviews for each product, right? So you can see many-to-one relationship. So what I'll do, I'll use generate operator to summarize these reviews for each product, right? So I'll group by the product, and I'll ask generate to generate a summary for all of those reviews, right? So just as simple as that, I can immediately start using LLM inside of my database, right? And in this case, by default, I use a GPT-5 model. So next, let's do a little bit more complex operation. I'll use extract operator to extract toy universe from the product description, right? The toy universe like Marvel or Minecraft. And here's an example of how I can use my custom model in this parameter if I want to. So here I can see that Marvel, Star Wars is the toy universes that LLM was able to detect for my toy products, right? So that's nice. There is some additional information that I can use. But in HorizonDB, we also support graph databases through Apache H extension. So that allows me to take it to the next step and convert this table output into an actual graph. So I can create Apache graph adding this create graph command, and it will actually create a real graph in Apache H inside of our HorizonDB. Thankfully, our Postgres extension can visualize Apache H graphs. This is a recent feature that we just added as well. And you can see that there is these clusters of toys that are joined around their toy universes. So this gives my agent kind of additional understanding of the subject domain. And I can use this, for example, for better product recommendations within the same franchise or things like that, right? So that's a very simplistic example, but it illustrates kind of the notion of the knowledge graphs and how you can use them in your applications. And finally, I'll do some vector search. So here's, one step back. So here's the alternatives to the LIGO. Let me, one more time. Perfect. So I'll search for alternatives to Lego, right? So that's a complicated query because it requires kind of a more deeper semantic understanding of what alternative means. And vector search, standard vector search struggles with it. So what it outputs is many errors. Sorry, it skipped before, but it confused alternatives to Lego with Lego accessories, right? So there were many incorrect results in the output. So to improve that accuracy, I can use rank operator that follows kind of the vector search, and it re-ranks the results of the vector search and improves accuracy. So here the Cohere model will actually look at the text of the returned results and will determine what is alternative to Lego and what is not. So that allows me to significantly improve accuracy and move true alternatives up and the accessories like lighting kit down, improving my vector search results. So this is a kind of the demo that illustrates the power of semantic operators and the simplicity that AI model management brings to HorizonDB in kind of bringing these capabilities, AI capabilities into the database. So with that, we can switch to the next topic, and I'll invite Abe on stage to cover that.
Hey, everybody. So today we're going to talk about a bunch of other AI features such as DiskNN and others. So we're going to start by going back to that blueprint. So as you build and walk through the blueprint of building an AI agent, you probably want to add a tool like vector search. Vector search allows your agent to find relevant information in your database. So let me show you how we can use DiskNN and advanced filtering to improve your vector search and have more efficient search. Back in May, we announced DiskNN, which is Microsoft's state-of-the-art vector indexing algorithm that assists with improved vector search. It really helps as you scale your data sets in your vector searches. In our performance test, we saw that DiskNN outperforms PG Vector's HNSW with 10x faster speeds, 4x lower cost, and 32x less memory. The way it's able to do this is with a key innovation of product quantization. What product quantization does is it takes the large, high-dimensional vectors, compresses it down, and stores those compact vectors in memory. Having these more efficient vectors, the vectors more efficiently stored in memory actually improves your I/O performance, which results in faster vector searches as well as higher throughputs. And unlike other quantization algorithms, diskNN also allows you to maintain accuracy because it stores the full vectors on disk to refer to it to ensure accuracy. But over the past few months, we've been working with a bunch of customers and Microsoft research team, and I found a way to make diskNN even more efficient. So today, I'm proud to announce advanced filtering. Advanced filtering has started to solve one of vector search's biggest problems. Like with vector search, what we found is a lot of customers are running into issues with filtered vector search. In common real-world scenarios, if I were to do a vector search, I probably want to have filters. Things like price range, things like category, things like time or date. And with normal vector search today, we find that users run into issues because vector search does a multi-hop process plus post-filtering, which results in slow and inefficient search for accurate results. With advanced filtering, we solve that problem. Advanced filtering is able to use a bitmap while it searches the vector search results to ensure only the correct vectors are returned. So in our initial test, we saw that advanced filtering with diskNN results in 3x faster speeds. So enough of me talking. Let me show you a vector search of diskNN with advanced filtering working. On the left side, you see I'm searching my e-commerce database for toys that will teach baby Spanish. And I want toys that are above 4.7 rating and between $55 and $150. I want the best for my baby, but I don't want to break the bank. So on the left side, you see advanced filtering is disabled. And on the right side, I have advanced filtering enabled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run an explain analyze query to show you guys what's happening under the hood. So I'm going to run both queries. You're going to see that the explain analyze comes up, and I'm going to explain both. So on the left side, you see that diskNN without advanced filtering does a two-step process. What it does is it first filters all my results, and then it does the vector similarity search. On the right side, you see diskNN with advanced filtering. It's actually just one process. It filters, as it does the search, it filters upfront, pruning any irrelevant results, and returning the 10 most relevant items all in one shot. What that results in is an execution time of around 60 milliseconds, which is roughly 3x faster than diskNN without advanced filtering. With advanced filtering, we show that 3x faster speeds than normal diskNN, and diskNN, but when we announce the build, it's already faster than HNSW. So we're expecting to see really, really good results here. Other than diskNN, I also want to talk about our Microsoft Foundry integration. Now that you guys have seen how we can implement AI inside the database, I want to show you how you can bring it all together. The most important part of this is actually building the agent. So how do you connect your agents you're building in AI Foundry to your data in Azure Horizon DB? I'm going to show you how Microsoft Foundry's integration with Postgres makes this much easier. In the past, when folks have tried to integrate these tools, they had to rely on custom tools, they had to create custom APIs, or do custom SQL. That is a really cumbersome process for developers and even IT folks, as well as it's super error prone. With our integration today, I'm super excited to announce that with just a simple connection to your Microsoft Azure Postgres MCP server and an intra-ID connection, you can easily connect to your Postgres server. So with this connection, your agent's able to explore your schema, do analysis on your data, as well as do vector search. So instead of enough of me talking, I'm going to show you guys an end-to-end demo of me using this integration inside Microsoft Foundry. So when I go into Microsoft Foundry, what you see is inside Microsoft Foundry, I'm actually in the platform here, which allows me to build agents, design AI workflows, as well as deploy models. What I'm going to do for this agent specifically is I'm going to go to the UI, head over to the tools, and try and find the right Postgres tools that can now be integrated with my agents. I'm going to go ahead, find the tools section, and then right in the front page, I see the Postgres tool is there. I'm going to click into it, and you can see all the things I just explained it can do. And I'm going to go click the link. It leads me right to GitHub. And right in GitHub, I'm going to scroll down and then find the instructions to easily deploy this MCP server as well as connect it to AI Foundry. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is an AZD up command. And what users have to specify is just specify the Foundry resource and specify the Postgres resource you want to connect to. After you've integrated those two things, all you do is you head over to VS Code. And in VS Code, when you run that AZD up command, what we do for you under the hood is make sure the MCP server is set up and all the right roles and permissions are configured for your agent to talk to your database. After that's done, you can save the endpoint. And then the last step is to make sure that privacy and rights to your database is secure. We go ahead and give the MCP server intra-ID auth to my database, as well as permissions to my table. In this demo, I'm just showing you giving it permissions to my existing tables and all the future tables, but would highly recommend folks to narrow this down to exactly what you want your agent to have access to. After that's done, and I've set all the right configurations, you can head out to AI Foundry, or anyone building an agent can now connect to that Postgres database. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create an agent. And after I create the agent, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply just put in some instructions for that agent specifically. And then with those instructions, all it tells me is the table I need to connect to and how I should format the results. I'm going to add the MCP server. So I'm going to go ahead, click the tool to add that MCP server. I'm going to use all the information I just showed you guys. So I'm going to name the MCP server as I usually would. I'll go ahead and then I'll paste in the endpoint that we saved from that AZD up command. I'll put in the intra ID. And that command also gave me a client ID to ensure that this is the right MCP server and the connections are all authenticated. After that's done, I can connect and do a natural language query. So I'm going to ask, like, hey, what were the last 5 orders? And what it's going to do is going to go through my database. It's going to find that I have an orders table, and it's going to create a query to run in that orders table, all through natural language. I can accept the query, and boom. All you see is the answers from my database, all with natural language, and also like following the permission rules that I set for this. So it's really great for, if folks want people to have access to the database, and they want to also have their agents have access to that database as well. Now that you've seen AI inside the database, I also want to show you how you can use AI outside the database with VS Code extension to manage your Horizon DB with AI. If you guys haven't heard, in Build, we announced the Postgres VS Code extension. And today, I'm super excited to GA that extension. The Postgres VS Code extension allows you to turn your VS Code into a unified developer workspace for your Postgres developers. It allows anybody to work with any Postgres database, allows AI-powered database management, as well as GitHub Copilot integration. This extension has garnered a lot of popularity in the past few months with over 270K installs on the VS Code store. So if you're an Azure customer, and I hope most people in this room are, you get 3 exciting new features, or 3 added features. 1, interest support, allowing people to connect to these databases with no password. 2, being able to provision your new Horizon DB databases. And lastly, you get metrics intelligence. And this is a pretty cool feature that lets you read all the metrics from your database and then improve performance as well as analyze and fix any issues. So rather than me talking so much, let me show you a demo of metrics intelligence working with GitHub Copilot and the Postgres extension. So what I'll do is I'll start with the Postgres extension. And in the Horizon DB database, I'm going to go ahead and look at the dashboard. As you can see in the dashboard, there are a bunch of metrics, including CPU and memory utilization. And I can see my memory has spiked to 90%, so something clearly is going wrong. So what I'm going to do is, rather than going through my logs and doing some query plans, I'm going to see what Copilot can do to solve this. When I click Copilot, you see that it creates a prompt for me so it can analyze all the data that's coming from Horizon DB to give me a suggestion of what exactly is going on. So as you can see on the left side, what's happening is I'm running a bunch of queries to understand what's going on, and it's producing a report for me to go ahead and read and understand. After that report is done, I scroll up to find out what is the root cause of this. So as you see, the root cause is basically telling me that my query is performing a full table scan on my biggest table, which is driving up I/O. Let's see if GitHub Copilot can handle this issue instead of me trying to figure this out myself. So say, go ahead, see if you can handle this issue. And on the left, you can see more queries are running. I've accepted all these queries to get run by my agent. And after that gets run, I can scroll up to see what exactly the Copilot did. And I can see what the Copilot did is the Copilot actually implemented an index on my filter column, which was causing me to use a lot of CPU. So let's go ahead, let's check the dashboard, and let's see if this actually helped. So because I'm able to see my dashboard in real time, you can see just by adding that index, the CPU utilization actually dropped down to 10%, which is great. Copilot was able to analyze and fix these issues without me looking at my logs or me trying to understand all the query plans. So as you've seen kind of everything end to end from using AI inside the database to using AI outside the database. Rather than talking theoretically about all of this, I want to give it over to Sharon to talk about the practical use cases of using AI in Horizon DB. There you go, Sharon.
Hi. So Alpha Life Sciences is a technology company using certainly SQL as well as the AI to help transforming our life science business into taking advantage of AI to bring efficiency to the life science innovations. So this market grew like 3 times and 4 times over the last decade, 2 decades. And the R&D pipeline growed by 4 times, and it hits the global market share has to $1.3 trillion. But they are under lots of pressure because of the competitions, shortened time window for the patents, as well as increasing cost and more patients needs to go through those trials. But they are doing really great thing to bring the medicine to the market sooner, and so efficiency would be a great motivation for them to take advantage of the technologies, and also that really help our human beings to take advantage of this medicines, saving people's life and bring cures to the disease. But we also want to empower this industry to take advantage of AI because we don't want to fool them with all these financial impact returns. So, for example, I'm going to talk about zooming into the content authoring or document writing for this industry, which is highly regulated with tons of documents to report to the health authority for their medicine to go to market. But single document like a clinical trials report, which is the end of the whole lengthy clinical trials. It took often them like 6 months or half a year to finish that. But with the tool, with AI, with Azure's capabilities here, we can shorten that time by half, by even more. So by single documents with 100 of them by big pharmaceutical companies, it could take just 1.4 billion time saving and dollar saving. So look at the industry through preclinical, clinical trials, and submission, and final post-market. Once post-market, the medicine, you still need to watch out all these incidents or secured, making sure it continue to be safe for the human beings to take on. So those need to report it. So those are the busy documents. Each of the document type, maybe hundreds of each of the documents for each year of a big company. Underneath that, with hundreds, thousands tables, and also statistics models, and a very complicated process. And for each of the single medicine, it could actually take up to 10 years to finish the whole process. So with that, I want to zoom in one document type. For each of the clinical trials, you need many of the professional teams, medical team, clinical trial operations team, the statistics model team to sit together, design the protocols, which is the design of the trials. The protocol starting with a mini brainstorming session and defining key elements like clinical trials, patient inclusion, exclusion criteria, and the end result of these trials need to hit primary or secondary endpoints. But in the meanwhile, all these bullet points really expanded to the final writing protocol documents, which could be hundreds of pages, covering many aspects of that. And because the trials is very lengthy, taking years, so some of the, it actually goes through multiple iterations or updates or amendments required by health authority and required by doctors' feedback and patients' reactions to that. Underlying everything of that process are the Azure Database, Azure Cloud, AI agents, Azure Open AI, as well as Microsoft PostgreSQL. So I'm going to use a video to capture some of the snippets of the tools which would help with protocol writing.
Protocol and protocol menu. Key section generator. When a section requires references from previous or similar studies, the system provides access to a centralized reference pool that consolidates all relevant documents. Users can quickly browse or search the pool, select one or multiple relevant documents from the library, edit rules, and apply customized prompts for the AI to automatically draft and refine the content for the session. The system then generates the corresponding output, which can expand selected key sections into more detailed content, ensuring that critical parts of the protocol are fully developed. All references are automatically cited and highlighted within the text, making it clear where each piece of information originated. A dedicated pop-up window allows users to instantly check the original source, adjust the generated output directly in the AI chat box, or insert the finalized result into the document with a single action. Assessments Generator. By tagging the schedule of assessments, the system automatically searches for assessment descriptions from reference documents and lists them directly within the assessment section. Users can then select the assessments that require additional detail and create subsessions focused on each item. Within these subsessions, AI generates targeted output that reviewers can examine in the AI task interface. The underlying generation logic is highlighted in yellow, helping reviewers understand how the content was constructed. This approach also supports multi-source citation, providing full traceability back to the original documents. Protocol amendment. When the protocol needs to be amended, you only need to upload the key points of the amendment, such as records in Word or Excel format. The system will conduct an intelligent analysis, identify the affected sections, and provide amend suggestions. Users can adjust the amend suggestions and use the batch update function to update all the information. The updated content will be displayed in diff mode to help users clearly understand what adjustments the system has made. For the amendment of a protocol, a clear table of amendments is very important. In our solution, the system can summarize the amendment points before and after through a full content comparison and associate them with the corresponding rationales. Users can then easily review the updated content of every modification with a simple click.
All right, that's a very short showcase, but there are so many different document types and so many different use cases of using AI and on top of a PostgreSQL. We faced big challenges when we start to build these AI agents or content authoring for life science business. Massive data volume, structured and unstructured in the format PDF, Word, and PPT, and Excel, and etc. And we also need to comply with the regulations. So all the data being generated, document being generated, needs to be traceable and need to be auditable. And basically, AI hallucination is a big challenge, but there's a zero tolerance in the industry. Certainly, we are not claiming we are eliminating all this hallucination, but the AI generated content needs to be as accurate, as precise as possible. Certainly, at the very end, the professionals, human beings, the safeguard should be in the place. So we don't only just need AI that can write, but we need intelligent agents that understand the data structures, follow the regulatory rules, and manage the version control. So we are so happy this Microsoft SQL, PostgreSQL position and database and all this tool capability. And I'm very happy to see Abe and Maxis to show this capability to our industry. So because all our users, medical writers, regulatory writers, actually using Microsoft Office for their document writing, so our tools are sitting within that environment as an add-in. So the add-in will start to ask a request, ask AI, multiple AI agents or agentic AI way of coming up to different content, including, for example, link writing based on different sources of referencing documents, or interpretation to a very complex table, or detect the discrepancy with similar information represent the same content, but we detect an inconsistency. So all these QC, quality control problem, the use cases, applications, as well as first draft and future iterations, cross-team review system, are very complicated process, take times. But thanks to the PostgreSQL that putting everything together, we don't have to talk to different systems to do vector search or full text index search or do a SQL query. It all happened within one system, streamlined, and the code becoming neater, and also the efficiency gets better. So with that, on top of the LLM, the AI agents start to perform very elegantly. And we are extremely happy to hear the Horizon DB's launch and coming up with more and more powerful tools. To call out a few features that in our place, AI model management. We actually need to access all the ever-growing, very fast iterating models and also different capability out of different versions of the models. So their handling of that in database make it much simpler. And semantic operators, including classification, link writing, summarization, also smart parsing, which very handy. And disk scanning, advanced filtering help with the vector search much faster. And we will already start incorporate all that to clean up our code. The code snippets and everything becoming much shorter, cleaner, and very better managed. So we're looking forward to further integration of all these tools in our system. All right, so to conclude my sharing here, so AI agents not just in place to replace human beings, actually extend the structured, compliant, and auditable thinking. And database is no longer just database storage. Actually, it is the semantic knowledge base for AI. And when we apply all these tools and capability into enterprise, for the future of the enterprise AI, we really need to look at the compliance, the security, traceability, auditability, and the agentic AI. So operating safely across the regulatory system. So to end that, we don't just make AI write faster, we make it understand the data, follow the rules, the rationales, and the industry regulations, and operate safely in the enterprise environment. With that, I'd like to hand over to Maxim. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Great. So with that, we conclude our session. Before we finish up, there is a few information slides for you. So first, Horizon DB is in preview. So if you're interested in this highly scalable Postgres database service with AI features and developer tools, please sign up for this preview. Here's a QR code. I'll keep it up for a minute so you can snap it if you're interested. And another call out, so other sessions, right? So earlier today, we had another Horizon session, actual announcement, where that session was focused on actual storage layer and how it's built. So if you missed it, you can watch recording. Here it's 127 session. Later today, we have another customer showcase from NASDAQ. So that's a pretty interesting one. And tomorrow, we have session 123, dedicated to our Oracle migration tools, where you can easily migrate schema, data, and application using modern LLM tools that we also integrated with our VS Code tooling. And finally, we have labs running throughout all days of the conference, Lab 515, where you can try your hand on building agents using the modern agent framework and PostgreSQL. And we have 1 minute for maybe one question. So if you have more questions and we run out of time, please meet us at our expert booth session in the expo hall. So there is a Postgres area for that. And with that, just one last call out. Please give us your evaluation. Let us know how we did. And with that, I'll open floor for one question. We have 1 minute. Yeah.